old to learn how to hip hop. Seriously. Really. That was cool. That was really fun. How's everybody doing? Good. So we have a little different take on the environmental education piece. My name is Quint Redmont, and my wife and I started a design firm over 20 years ago. And she's a biologist and I'm a geologist originally, and then we both have a master's in urban and regional planning, and I have an MLA too, so I'm really a landscape architect. But I think most people in the country have no idea how tragically scary our food situation is. There's less than 1 million farmers left. There's less than 1 million, excuse me, farmers left. And most of those guys are 55 or older and learned how to farm during the Green Revolution with a bigger header on the combine, not how to grow food that you eat from the stock of the plants. So our goal, our stated goal of our firm, is 30 million farmers. That's 10% of the population. It's kind of an interesting thing. I was in China last year, and 80 or 90% of the population there are farmers, and they have the other problem. They have too many farmers and not enough other types of things, and we have too little. And the reality is, somewhere in the middle, we think around 30% of the population needs to be actively involved in for-profit agriculture. If you can imagine a country where everywhere you go, there is fresh food outside your door. No one lives too far away from a garden or a farm. And we do commercial farms. So just to give you some idea, we have almost 5,000 acres of developments. We're real estate developers. Don't throw anything. Because the developers are the ones that are going to actually build the infrastructure for all this food. So we have about 5,000 acres of developments that actually capture most of the food inside the development. We actually even count the calories. So if you're going to build a development that has 100 people in it, we know how many there's. So some of those are kids, some of those are adults. There's 2,000 calories per day, et cetera, et cetera. And then we figure out how much ground you need to actually feed 50 or 60% of that food. So here's the problem. We started going around building all these farms. They're beautiful. We're on our 5th school district, we're on our 3rd private school. Wow, where are the farmers going to come from? Right? Where are the farmers going to come from? The farmers aren't going to come from the 1 million that are left, right? So you got to figure out how to get those people, kids, to actually figure out that that's a meaningful occupation and a meaningful part of it. And guess what? Farmers make really good doctors. Farmers make good environmentalists. Farmers make good scientists. Farmers, it's kind of a funny thing. Once you realize that's the way the country started. Everybody was a farmer. When you grew up as a kid, you learned how to do a bunch of things. I was telling Katie this morning, we're very lucky. We live on 2 acres out in Golden. That's where we operate from, even though we build stuff all over the world. And my 2 kids, who are 13 and 12, are out disking our farm this morning, excuse me, while I'm talking. So they have that advantage. They have a way to do that. And what we need to do is build that opportunity into the fabric of our cities, into the fabric of our communities. And one of the ways to do that is through schools. So one of the deals is we figured out we really need to figure out how to educate and how to do that. We've even built or designed a building. It's kind of cool. We're going to build the first one this year. It's like a barn. It's partially glass. You can put it on a school campus or whatever. It's the upstairs of it has it's a 3-bedroom, 2-bath loft apartment that the science teacher can live in, and the floor drains. So it can be a prep kitchen, it can be a science lab, it can be a daycare, it can be part of the classroom. So we already have 3 schools that are going to build those kinds of buildings. I mean, it's totally integrated. One of the things that's really important in the long run about diversifying the agriculture in the country is that everybody has an opportunity to do that. I mean, I was lucky. When I was a kid, my dad was an engineer, whatever. And my wife's father was the vice president of the university. We are products of Agriburbia. Both of us had the opportunity to actually work on a meaningful, profitable farm when we grew up, and both the work ethic and the knowledge to do that really, really changed our lives. We were actually at the juncture we're at because of that. I think that's, oh, so one other thing, just to give you an example. A few years ago, we were given the opportunity, we had the opportunity to work for DPS. And just to show you how it works, we built 2 farms. One at McLone, which is out in Montbello, and the other one is down on Yale in I-25 roughly. And if you don't think it works, we put 16,000 pounds of the finest quality produce, better than you could get at Whole Foods, on DPS's dock, straight from what used to be 2 pea gravel ball fields. Right? And each one of these has, Slow Foods has a training garden right next to, so that you can actually, the kids can learn all the plants. The kids, they can't work on the farm until we actually let them work on the farm. These are commercial grade farms, they're fenced, they're a food supply. So, but we teach the kids, and then once they're available, once it's available, once they're old enough, they come in and they help us actually pick. So it's very possible. I think that's it.